Hi, welcome to Aquatic Australia. In these videos I invite you to join me and share my experiences on, under and around the waters of my Australian home. In this episode we're back at Rottnest, and the theme that emerges from these dives, we call it waves and caves. And once again we're diving off Bellet and Jack with Hillary's Yacht Club dive team. Our first dive is at Crystal Palace, and it was exceptionally wavy at this time. We had dived here just recently. On the 23rd of December, we dived the spit and the drop-off. Today we'd be diving higher up the reef on top near the blue area. The top of this reef is riddled with large sinkholes caused by collapsed caves. Where there are caves and ledges, there are holes, and where there are holes, there are lobsters. Meanwhile, back on top of the reef outside the sinkhole, back and forth, round and round, it was like a washing machine. Still good fizz. I descended to the next cave, looking underneath the ledges at the life that lives under all the overhangs just outside the light. I come across a western blue devilfish, and then looking a bit further, I find a banded cleaner shrimp. These are wonderful shrimp, normally found on coral reefs up in the tropics. They're also cleaners, just like the cleaner wrasses. A fish will come along, and these guys will pick the parasites off it. Again, the walls of the crater are filled with all kinds of coloured sponges, soft corals, and other encrusting life. These sinkholes used to be caves, but the roof collapsed in over time. The inside of these caves is just all about the riot of colours. They'd be fantastic for a night dive, where your only light comes from your torch, so all the colours are even more vivid. But then, with a night dive, you'd also lose out of the speckled, dappled sunlight streaming through the cave entrances, which adds a flavour to these dives that is just magnificent. Inside the crater and underneath the cave we can still feel the swell, but it's much reduced, and that affords the opportunity for a lot more fish life to live in here, particularly fish that don't swim very strongly, like the white-barred boxfish. This is one of my favourite fish to see diving. I always call it a pumpkin fish. On the wall nearby, I see black sieve bryozoan. It looks and feels like a hard coral, but it's actually a colony of small critters called bryozoans. Like coral, they too exude a hard calcareous shell that makes the whole colony solid. Leaving behind the boxfish's mesmerizing dance, we head back out from the overhang into the crater, and it's finally time to head back into the maelstrom above. Emerging from the crater, I see my buddy James has found a hole full of lobsters near the lip of the crater. Lobster fishing is a popular pastime here in Western Australia. Many divers take part. It's highly regulated and very stringent catch limits and sizes, but thanks to that we seem to have a good population of lobsters. Down in the sand at the bottom of the crater I found a southern baler shell. Usually these very large snails inhabit these. This one was full of sand and very dead when I found it. Swimming back to the boat past shoals of fish, I passed a shoal of rough bullseyes. These can often be found hanging outside a reasonable sized cave, and a good indication a cave is about. In this case, I'm back to the boat and don't have time to explore. It's time to end our first dive of the day. For our second dive, we drop into Porpoise Caves reefs, a part that we call the last chance because it's a great place to find more lobsters. But I like it because it's got a lot of caves, a lot of stingrays, and a lot of interesting things to see. This is another dive that we dived just recently on the 16th of December. You can see it in the movie Ray's Crays and Holes. On this dive, we dive along the wall with it on our right hand side, stopping to look inside several large caverns and holes, and the final one even had a huge wobbegong inside it. The key to diving in a swell is never to fight it, just go with the flow. When the water takes you in the direction you want to go, kick hard and go with it. And then as the wave reverses, just kick gently just enough to stay in place until the swell takes you again the direction you want to go. This way you have quite a nice dive. Western Talma are one of my favourite fish. They're a type of butterfly fish with a long nose, and they remind me of some of their tropical cousins. Their antics are usually fun to watch. Up ahead, I spot one of the larger caves, and circling outside in a large school, the ubiquitous bullseyes. Up ahead we see our second large cave. This one is just to the east side of the point. Old wives are said to get their name from the noise they make by grinding their pharyngeal teeth together, being like an old wife showing disapproval of their husbands. Suddenly, I spot a harlequin fish. This beautiful and colourful coral trout belongs to the grouper family. It's not often seen. After we round the point at the western side of our dive, we come across a large cave at the bottom of a cliff. It turns out to be more than just a cave, but a beautiful arch with a passageway out the other side of the cliff. But on the inside on the left, down another large passageway, one of our divers has made a discovery. Inside they've spotted a very large wobbegong, a member of the shark family. Spotted wobbegongs are bottom-living sharks that can grow up to 3.2 meters long. My video lights are made for a wide beam and can't quite catch this guy to give you a really good picture of him. But they're funny looking things, they're quite flat and they have tassels around their nose like this picture from John Tompkins, one of our divers, that help them hide and blend into the background but also help them find food. Here's a bit of a closer view. On a previous dive, John also shot a nice piece of video that he's let me use kindly here. This particular wobbegong we saw in our hole today was bigger than this one, so big the divers named him Wobzilla. They think he was about 2 meters or more. Slow-moving and bottom-dwelling, wobbegongs are part of the Orectolobiform or carpet sharks family. These strange but beautiful sharks are usually harmless to divers, but you mustn't disturb them because they can still bite. Time now to turn around and head back along the wall, passing stingrays as we go. Heading back, we also come across some of our own divers who are still on the outward leg of the journey. Once again, we pass the second set of caves, taking a last look inside. The air supply is starting to get low. We start seeing more divers form up with us as we head back to the boat and finish what has been an absolutely wonderful dive. And we finish this dive like we finished the last one. Videos of schools of bullseyes hanging outside of caves, moving around in the waves. Waves and caves. That was Rottnest today. Heading in, we pass a familiar sight around these waters, Whitford's Volunteer Sea Rescue and their rescue vessel called Sign Green 2, or City of Joondalup heading out. As we prepare to bring the boat into dock ourselves, all our crew gets ready into their assigned positions, and that's the end of another great trip with Hillary's Yacht Club divers. Hope you've enjoyed this video as much as we've enjoyed making it. Join us next time on Aquatic Australia and see where we get to next.